The sky darkened over the English Channel as Captain Martin Graves gripped the railing of the London, his fingers white from cold and tension. The steamship, a proud vessel bound for Australia, had set sail from Plymouth just days before, carrying hundreds of passengers while seekers, families, and merchants all chasing the promise of a new world. But on this fateful evening in January 1866, the sea had other plans. A storm had risen suddenly, as if summoned from the depths. The wind howled like a chorus of lost souls, and the waves reared up like towering cliffs of water. Rain lashed the decks, and the ship groaned under the onslaught. The London was a mighty ship, but no vessel could stand against nature's fury forever. Below deck, terror spread faster than the rising water. The second-class cabins were filled with cries of panic. Children clung to their mothers, and men fought their way to the upper decks, desperate for air. In the Grand Saloon, Mr. William Lane, a journalist documenting the voyage, scribbled furiously in his notebook despite the chaos. If he was to perish, he would at least leave behind an account of the disaster. He wrote of a lady in an emerald green dress who stood at the piano, singing softly to calm those around her. He noted the bravery of the crew as they tried in vain to launch lifeboats that were swallowed by the sea before they could touch water. Captain Graves knew the truth. The London was doomed. She was too heavily laden, and the storm had caught her broadside, her hull filling with water at a terrible pace. With his oilskin coat whipping in the wind, he gave the order, "Save who you can." But it was too late for most. As dawn broke, the ship gave a final, shuddering lurch. The funnel collapsed with a deafening crash, and the great steamship began her descent.